Hey Bruins, welcome back to this week's episode of the BruinCast. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Ben.
And this week we have on Mr. Loudon.
No.
Mr. LaBass. Mr. LaBass. I had you for a year. I'm sorry. It's Friday. It's been a long week. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just cruising along here.
So, Mr. LaBass, not Mr. Loudon, want to kind of give us an introduction of who you are and what you teach here?
Sure. I'm Mr. LaBass. This is my 8th year here at Pondo. Been teaching math for a while. I've taught almost all of the subjects. I'm also now our athletic director. I've been doing that for the last 3 years. So this year I've got Algebra 1 and AP Calc. So both ends of the spectrum there for math.
I was going to say, it's like, yeah, opposite. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So 8 years teaching, and man, you're like athletic director. You're doing all the math. Well, you've done all the math classes.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you prefer?
Oh, I definitely enjoy the higher level math stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I like a little bit of a challenge. Sometimes when I'm working through the lower maths, I can get a little bit bored. But it's always good to meet the kids and talk.
I imagine working with the lower classmen is a bit of a challenge in itself.
It's a completely different kind of class.
We love you freshmen, but, you know.
It's a completely different style of how I teach and what I'm expecting of the kids. So it's still a good time.
So we're going to jump straight into the athletic stuff. I have, what's your responsibilities and, what's the job like doing that, being the director?
Kind of just make sure that things are running smoothly. I make sure that officials show up. I make sure the facilities are where they need to be, schedules, all of those kind of things that people don't necessarily think of right away when they're thinking about athletics. They think of playing the sports. If I could be at every game, I would, but it's impossible for me to be everywhere at every place. But I do my best at trying to be there and being available and handling any kind of last-minute issues, transportation, something happens, ejections, all of those kind of pieces go together with that.
So just all the logistics of sports?
Pretty much every logistical piece that you can think of, I oversee for all of the sports. Most of the sports will handle a lot of their own stuff, but there's a lot of things that I oversee.
So how did you find out you're good at that stuff? Because that's like a skill set, managing that.
I've always been very good at being what's the word I'm looking for here? Organized.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
Super organized, very good at just keeping things together and making sure that I got my checklist. I make sure they all get done on time. So that's something I've just always been good with, time management as well.
That's a great trait to have for a teacher, and that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So don't you also coach a sport, or did you used to coach?
So I am officially not coaching this year for the first time since I've been here at Pondo. My daughter is now just over 1, so I'd like to spend a little more time at home. But I've coached a bunch of things now. I've coached water polo, swimming, and our ski and snowboard team, so the alpine team.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's the alpine team like? Do you guys like?
Been a while since I've done that. My first year here, I raced competitively snowboarding for quite a while. So I was like, sweet, I can definitely help out the team. Did it for a season. At the very end of the season, I had someone take me out, and I separated my shoulder. So definitely a bummer.
That's a story.
Oh, yeah, especially because it was one of our riders. Definitely a bummer, but it was fun. So it's a lot of time, though, so it's really hard missing as many days as we did. So I kind of took a step back from that. But swimming I coached for 6 years, and I had 8 years. I don't know, the years are all blending together now. I think I've got 7 or 8 years with polo. So
do you have most of the same students between both of those, or are they different students do different?
So I always encourage my water polo players to swim because to be a good water polo player, you have to be able to swim well. We always get a little bit of both there. Some kids will choose to only do polo because they don't want to do the swimming part. Some kids will only do the swim part because they don't want to do the polo part. So
okay, yeah. Isn't water polo like soccer in water? Or I've never seen.
I like to think of it more as like hockey.
Okay.
Right. So water polo, in my opinion, is one of the most fun sports to play because it's a combination of just about every sport you can think of. So you got the swimming aspect. It's set up like the field of soccer or hockey, where you got 2 goals, you got a goalie, you got defenders, you got people on offense. It's really similar to basketball in all the plays. You're running picks, you're running screens, you're running drives, post-ups, all of those kind of things. And there's a lot of wrestling because you're vying for position, trying to get inside water. So it was a combination of all the sports I played growing up, so I really enjoyed it.
So there's like the National Hockey League, there's like the soccer leagues. Is there like any water polo leagues out there? That
Absolutely. FINA.
The FINA?
FINA is a kind of like an aquatic
Okay.
Just I don't know what I want to call it, the program. I don't know. There's an entire European league based primarily out of like Hungary, Croatia, Serbia. Those are the powerhouses. Italy's always really good as well.
No, America.
On the men's side, not typically. The women's side in America has been the top tier for a long, long time. I think the women won like 4 out of 5 Olympics in a row.
Well, okay, wow.
Yeah.
Kind of going back, you mentioned you have like a 1-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that been like, having to balance the daughter and that life at home versus, a busy life at school?
It's definitely tough. Being able to do what I need to do, and it sucks dropping her off every day because I'm not spending the time with her. I have to be at work, especially now that she's walking, running around, and definitely making some memories. But it's been a really, really cool experience with my wife and I being able to have a little girl running around at home.
I always ask teachers with kids, how closely related is parenting to teaching?
I guess like a 1-year-old is going to be different from
Yeah, I mean, like, so my wife teaches kindergarten as well. So she actually said that her teaching got better when we had the kid because she's now a little more understanding and a little more nurturing in that regard. I don't know if my teaching really has changed, but answering your question, I think when you teach well, you work with others well. Like, that's the biggest thing. So coaching, teaching, as long as you have a good relationship with someone, as long as you know what you're talking about, you're going to be able to teach them just about anything.
So curious, is that something you picked up like in school, or is that something that someone kind of taught you, mentored you with?
It's a little bit. I think the best way to learn is to do and to fail, right? So my big thing is productive failure. Like, I expect everyone in my class and just doing everything in general, sports, any kind of thing. You want to fail 1,000 times, but do it productively, right? When you fail, you do something wrong, you're trying something new, but you're learning in that process. Oh, that didn't work because of A, B, and C. Or, oh, that may have worked if I did this instead. So just like that productive failure of always trying to be better than where you are and never being afraid of failing.
I remember like in your Calc AB class, like on the practice exams for the AP final, like one of your things was that if you you'd rather us kind of put an answer in that's incorrect than leave it blank, because if you put a blank answer, you'd mark the whole paper, as wrong. I think that was really interesting. And like,
one of my big things with that is if you aren't actively trying, you're never going to know what you don't know, right? So one of my biggest pet peeves as a teacher is when kids write, I don't know, or they leave something blank, because I can't help you, and you can't even help yourself if you're not identifying what you don't know. Like, my 4 steps of studying for any kind of math or science: you do the practice problems, you check your work. A lot of people stop there, but you don't actually learn anything in those processes. Step 3 is identifying the mistakes, and step 4 is, which is where the most effective point where a teacher can come in, is identifying how to not make those same mistakes.
That's where we come. Like, once we do all that, we come to
you did it. You're like, I keep making a mistake here. What do I need to do to not make those mistakes? That is where a teacher is the most effective.
It's an interesting way to put it, because I know kind of how I study and a lot of other people study is just if you get something wrong, just trying it again and again and again, and not really digging deeper
as to why you're getting it wrong.
As to why you're, like, what exact step you're misunderstanding.
It was definitely something I had to learn in college, because in high school I don't think I ever studied a day. I did well in school, and I kind of was able to just kind of cruise along, and went to UC Santa Barbara, and there were a lot of people who knew how to study, and I did not. And so that first quarter was a little rough. But after that, I had to figure out how to do it, and I figured out how to study, and I figured out that that was the most effective way for me to do it. It was just not focusing on doing practice problems, but why were the problems I was doing, like, why were they wrong? Like, it's definitely it's not just for school either. It's for everything that you do in life. Like, as one of my favorite examples I love to use is rebuilding a lawnmower. So when I was growing up, I swear every single Saturday my dad went outside and something was wrong with the lawnmower, and he always had to fix it. But if you fix it wrong 100 times, that 101st time when you figure it out, you will never forget how to fix it again. If you watch a YouTube video, how to do it the first time, you're going to end up watching that YouTube video 100 times because you're never actually going to learn like how to fix it.
So with teaching, is that something that you always wanted to do, or did you kind of find it?
So I actually went to UC Santa Barbara to be an engineer. I went as a chemical engineer. I went through all the underdivision stuff, and then I took my process flows class. So rates of chemicals coming in, the mixtures happening, and the rates flowing out. I did okay on the class. Like, it was definitely a tough class. But one of the cool things that they did was once a week, someone who had graduated from Santa Barbara as a chemical engineer came in and talked about their job essentially and like expectations of what we would want. Because you've got three fields of engineering. You've got the engineers that everyone thinks about, which is creating new things. You've got the engineers who have knowledge about the materials because they have to be able to sell them. And then the third are the most common engineers, which are the ones that maintain and make sure everything is safe. Okay. So pretty much everyone that came and talked to us was like, I've got a great job, I've got a great office, I have a great team, I make sure everything is safe. And as I was taking this class, I was just like, that sounds so boring. Doing the same thing every single day with the same people, just making sure that things are working. Wasn't really something I envisioned myself doing after hearing those things. So my mom was a teacher for a long time. She's still now a principal. My uncle was a teacher for a long time. He was a principal. He's now retired. So I always knew that education was something I could do. I did a ton of tutoring in high school and then throughout college. So I said, might as well give this a go, and I feel like I do a pretty good job at it.
Man, in your class, I mean, it's kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, like the way that you viewed failure as a way to learn, and and your whole approach to that, applying it to classwork and the process in which we look at our answers. Like, that's something that I found really unique about your class that a lot of other teachers don't do. So I mean, you definitely bring stuff.
I mean, AP Calc, I really try to treat it as much of like a college class as I can, because I had a rough awakening when I started taking actual college level classes, and just knowing how to study and knowing how to be on my stuff to make sure I'm in a good spot.
Yeah.
So I kind of do that with my AP Calc class, but give a little bit of help along the way and some.
It's really interesting to hear your process towards failure, because I know I've heard teachers say like 1,000 times like failure is how you learn,
Mm-hmm.
but I never understood it really, because like I don't know, I just never like learned from it. Whenever I would fail, I would just say I don't understand this and move on, or like bash my head against the wall trying to repeat it. So
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to hear that you have kind of a process to like break down failure and why it happened and how to prevent it.
I never want to prevent failure. It's all about utilizing failure as a positive as opposed to a negative.
Like learning from it more so
Mhm.
than preventing it.
Yeah.
Viewing it like as a way not to do something versus a way that I did it this way, didn't work, I'll try something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
Every Friday.
Every Friday.
You wear
Hawaiian Tea Friday.
Special thing.
Happy Friday, folks.
Where did that come from? Like, is there like an origin story to that? Like some cool.
High school, actually.
Ooh.
Jed Miller, my AP language teacher. Honestly, didn't really like him all that much, but he did Hawaiian Tea Friday every Friday, and me and a bunch of buddies just totally bought in. And we did that for my junior and senior year, and then I went through college, and obviously I went to Santa Barbara, and everyone's in a Hawaiian tea every single day. I think I lived in them. At some point, I want to say I had close to 40 Hawaiian teas. Goodwill's always got the best ones. You get them for $2 a pop. You wear them until they rip. Oh yeah, no, you can find some great Hawaiian teas at Goodwill.
You can find anything at Goodwill.
True. The best Goodwills are the super small towns, though, because they get picked from the least.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, Hawaiian Tea Friday, it's been something I've been doing for a long time. Been doing it especially as a teacher, and I make a big deal of it every Friday. I have fun with it.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that before.
I used to tell the kids, so I don't really collect homework anymore. It's more just all online, but my first couple of years here, I still collected homework and checked it and did all that kind of stuff. So I told a couple of my classes that if every single person in the class wore Hawaiian tea, I wouldn't collect homework the next week. And my Div Calc class, I had an Algebra 2 class that they all did it essentially for years until I stopped collecting homework, and there was that incentive kind of went away. I had everyone in my class every Friday doing it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So What's we need to get a new incentive. What can we do? What's like a
I know. I've been trying to think about it for a while because I get a couple kids now and then that still do it, but it's not like that full force. I used to have people come with a bag full of them and just hand them out to people as they walked into class. It was too fun.
in a class full of Hawaiian teachers? That's a sight.
Oh, seriously, no. Algebra 2, I want to say 2019, I had like 41 in the class. So I had 41 people in Hawaiian tees. Plus, I think someone had a guide dog as well that year in trainings, and they put a Hawaiian tee on the dog as well.
It's like a pack of zebras, like running around.
Oh, it was awesome.
Like,
It was awesome seeing all the good ones. Because, like, Hawaiian tees, the best thing about them is all the silly prints. So,
Yeah. What's your favorite Hawaiian tee you have?
oh, that's a tough one. I have one that I don't usually wear to school, just because it's absolutely ridiculous. One of my buddies got me one of a picture of me making the most ridiculous face, and it's just all over it. And I only wear that one in very special occasions. I definitely enjoy my Pondo one. I wear that one as much as I can. Unfortunately, it's got a nice big rip in it,
Aw.
so I've been wearing that one a lot less and trying to convince my wife to stitch it up for me.
How's that going?
We'll see. It's a pretty old shirt because apparently, like 15 years ago, it was the staff shirt here. Someone retired, left it on a table. I went, thank you very much. And so I wore it a lot.
They should bring back the Hawaiian T-shirt for Pondo. That'd be.
I would love that. I would buy multiple in a heartbeat.
I'd buy one.
Oh yeah.
I might have to hop on the Hawaiian
Hawaiian Tea
shirt.
Friday, every Friday.
Yeah.
So you guys ready for this awesome segue? Hawaiian T-shirts, beach, UC Santa Cruz. No,
Santa
UC Santa
Barbara.
Barbara,
There you
not
go.
Cruz, Barbara. What was college like in the beach, like in a town like that?
Santa Barbara was one of the coolest places I've ever been and had the pleasure to live at. Realistically, if it wasn't so far away from the mountains and if it wasn't so far away from home and so expensive, I'd probably still be down there. But Santa Barbara it's got a special place in my heart. It's like the definition of work hard, play harder, where everyone there, I mean, to get into Santa Barbara is a task in its own, and you pretty much have to be a good student. So everyone there knows their stuff, and they worked really hard, but everyone there is also looking to have a great college experience. I had a great experience. I was part of the club water polo team, and then I also was on the ski and snowboard team as well. I was the vice president my junior year, and my fourth year I was the president of the team.
The Santa Barbara ski team.
Oh yeah,
That's
not something you hear of every day. But we would rent a cabin up in Mammoth for the entire season, and we would race every other Saturday with all the other teams in our league, the CNISSF. Don't ask me what that stands for because I don't remember.
Sounds like a government thing.
Pretty much, but it had it had all of the Southern California schools that had a team, as well as the like NAU, Northern Arizona University.
Okay.
But we had a great time. It was so much fun. And especially, it was super nice. I graduated college 2 quarters early, saved some
nice.
money. And my last winter quarter there, I would work at the gym on campus for 3 days a week, like that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I'd live at the cabin the rest of the time for that entire season.
Nice.
I think I had like 65 days on the mountain that year. It was awesome. Such a
Cool.
good time.
Cabins are just like the whole cabin vibe. You know, it's
Oh.
cozy. It's nice.
Absolutely.
Did you guys have a fireplace?
Yeah, but we probably didn't get used very
Aw.
much.
That's good.
It got a little rowdy up there. It was a good time though. But yeah, Santa Barbara was awesome. Had some great classes. Had some classes that I kind of had to take, but learned how to surf. Did a ton of outdoor rock climbing. Did a lot of mountain biking. Had a couple jobs.
So outdoor like rock climbing, would that be like on the coastal cliffs then, or like just?
So actually, if you go up the freeway for about like 15 minutes, there's quite a few mountains. There's a lot of
Okay.
really good hikes out there. But I had a couple buddies that were super big in outdoor climbing, so we did some lead climbing, some top rope, and there's a lot of good stuff. The views were superb. The first date so I actually met my wife at Santa Barbara as well.
Oh,
I was
okay.
working at the gym. I was the front desk person, just letting them helping people slide their cards in, make sure they're doing the right thing. And my wife walks in, and she has got the gnarliest goggle tan ever. And by a goggle tan, I mean like a full-on, she spent the week, it's like spring break, up on the mountain, and her entire nose and lower face was bright red, blistering. She's going to hate that I'm saying this, but I was so down. I was just like, that is the coolest goggle tan I've ever seen. And then, worked out one thing after another where we finally go on a date, and one of the first date I took her on was a sushi date, and then I took her up to one of my favorite climbing spots because it's got one of my favorite views of all of Santa Barbara, overlooking into the ocean. So it was a really cool experience.
As far as meeting your love story goes, that's a pretty good one.
Well, I mean, she actually didn't want to date me again after that, unfortunately, until we both went to UC Davis for our teaching credential and masters, and I worked some stuff, and she finally said yeah.
That's funny.
It's a very unique meeting story.
Yeah.
The goggle tan.
Good old goggle tan.
So, if you had to pick a spot to live, like, would you stay at the beach, or would you go to, like, if you could only live in one place, you couldn't go to the other?
Mountains for sure.
Mountains, okay.
Like I've said, I'm a big snowboarder. I love being in the mountains. I love the snow. My folks have a cabin up in Gray Eagle. We spend just about every weekend during the winter up there as much as we can. So yeah, I enjoy the hikes. I enjoy being in the mountains. I enjoy everything out about it. The beach is nice. It's not somewhere I necessarily need to be every day, though.
Yeah, kind of gets, after a while, it gets,
Yeah, just constantly cleaning stuff up.
The sand
everywhere. And the Santa Barbara beaches are a little different because the oil seeps through the ground. So you walk on the beach for about an hour, you step off, and your bottom of your feet is like black.
Oh.
Best way to get it off is baby oil.
Oil to get off oil?
Yes.
Cool. So looking ahead then, obviously, you got a daughter who was born a year ago. Like, you're still, you've been teaching for a while, but you're still in, like, newer-ish, what do you think for your, like, career and stuff? Like, do you want to kind of stay where you are, athletic director and math teacher? Like, do you want to change some stuff, move around at some point?
We'll see. I think I could eventually see myself going into administration, like an assistant principal or something like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to try and do that here, or just wherever life takes you? Like?
I mean, I love Pondo. Pondo's a really cool spot. I honestly ended up here kind of on accident because I grew up in Dixon right next to Davis, so I was doing my master's and credential at Davis, and I started applying for jobs. I only applied to 2 districts. I applied up 50 and up 80. I was like, I just need to get closer to the mountains. I need to get closer to Tahoe. And this one popped up first, and I got the job, and I just kind of came up here on a whim. I rented a room from a couple on Craigslist for the first year, and it worked out great. But I didn't really know anyone up here, and I've been here long enough where I kind of have an idea of, like, the community. My folks just moved up as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so after the baby was born, my daughter was born, my parents left our house that I grew up in Dixon, and they bought a house up here, and they're now a couple minutes down the road. It's super helpful.
Hey, Mom, can you watch the kid for yeah.
Hey, Mom, I'd really like to go see a movie with my wife. Can you watch your granddaughter?
I got to ask, last year we always talked about Marvel. Like, have you seen Fantastic Four or any of those ones?
I mean,
Or Thunderbolts?
I've seen almost all of them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, since the baby was born, I haven't gotten to go see as many movies as I would like.
Yeah.
So within the last 6 months, I'm probably not caught up, but everything prior to that, I've watched a lot.
Nice. What's your favorite?
Yeah, what's your favorite out of those?
I know it's an easy choice, Easy choice.
Easy choice.
So easy,
It's what?
Dark World.
Dark World.
Best movie ever. Thor, too.
You're out of your mind. That is one of the worst movies that Marvel's ever made.
What? I'm joking.
I'm quite partial to Eternals myself.
Well, Infinity War just had, like, the biggest build-up possible, and that came out, like, when everyone was paying attention to it, so that was a ton of fun. But, like, my favorite Marvel comics in general are the X-Men.
Okay. Man, Kevin Feige, I hear he's working up some stuff with X-Men coming up soon-ish,
Did you see the new video game announcement for the Wolverine game?
Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
It does.
Very excited for that.
They got, like, the comic, the yellow suit, like the...
Mm-hmm.
Looks cool.
Can't go wrong with classics.
Nope. Do you read any comics, or do you?
I follow some a little bit. I read a lot of books in general. Really big into fantasy and sci-fi.
Okay, any favorites out of those genres?
Well, I mean, I read a lot of Sanderson, Cosmere, all that good stuff. Recently, I've been really big into the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. Book 7 just came out 2 days ago. I'm already halfway done with it. Like, I've been thoroughly enjoying that.
Was that like the book series that was like the really big ones?
I mean, I pretty much all of the high fantasy stuff are all really big ones.
True.
I'd say on average the books I read are around 600 to 700 pages, but sometimes they're 1,500 pages.
And you said you've read 26 so far this year?
Yeah, this year I've read a lot. I've read a lot more than I usually do, but it's been a good year, reading wise.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's like some Miss Zimney level.
Yeah, right?
Ooh, I'm not quite there. I'm definitely not 100 books a year, and I mean, last year I think I was at my number now. So like for the whole year, I think I read 24 last year, and this year I'm at 25 already. So.
Does that mean next year you have 50 right now?
Oh no,
And then-
no! It all depends on what comes out and what else is going on, right? Like this year, there hasn't been a ton of good video games that I've really been like diving into, so I've had a lot more time to read, especially in the evenings. I've been trying to make it a habit to read every night. Outside of Clair Obscur, Expedition 33 was hands down one of the best games I've ever played. I put it in my top 5, like ever.
That's
Highly
alright.
recommend.
High praise.
Yes.
Is it like Spaceships Expedition?
No, it's kind of hard to talk about it without giving it away totally. Essentially, it wasn't made by one of the major game producers. Like, I had 30 or so people from, I think, Ubisoft,
Oh, wow, yeah.
out of the French division. They disbanded and created their own company, and they did everything for this game. They literally hired a random person off of SoundCloud to do all of their music, and the music is so good.
Yeah.
So good. And it's kind of a turn-based, but it's a variant of a turn-based, and they just did the whole thing so well.
Okay.
hmm
So you're into gaming, into like sports, outdoor stuff. Like any other hobbies you got?
Big into music. I play music almost every day. I think I play like 8 different instruments, but for the most part, I stick to drums and bass. It's what I play once a week with the guys that I jam with. It's a recent thing, jamming wise. I was in a band in college, but recently my sister's new boyfriend was learning. Yes, I know. Interesting dynamic there, but he seems like a nice guy, but he's been trying to jam with people for a while, and he hasn't really found some good people to jam with.
Okay.
So I was like, I love to jam, let's play. So we've been going back and forth, and one of his buddies came, and he's a super good guitarist, so
That's
I'm
fun.
having fun.
I feel like it's easier to talk about what you don't do.
I do a lot of things. That's just honestly been kind of one of my things, period, is I do as many things as I can. I work better that way, but also it's just fun to do new experiences and try new things, and it goes back to that whole thing about failure. Like I have no issue trying something new ever.
Have there ever been any times in your life where you tried something new and it didn't work? Like it was,
All the time.
and like kind of big examples that you can share. Just,
I mean playing music in general, like that's all about failing and getting better and doing it again and trying and figuring out what works for you. I mean, like I started off playing the alto sax in elementary school, and then I picked up the bari sax, and then in high school my best friend and I both played the bari sax, but there wasn't enough bari saxes at the school, so my director essentially came to us and was like, one of you should play the tuba. So then I learned how to play the sousaphone, and then I went over to the euphonium for wind ensemble, and then I learned the trombone for jazz band, and it's just in that time I learned guitar, bass, drums.
you've done like brass, you've done woodwind, you've done like every type of instrument out there.
I really, really, really enjoy music. It's one of the things that like kind of puts me in the right state of mind.
So what type of music do you play to, kind of decompress and?
So I play all kinds of music. If I'm gonna pick one, it's gonna be pop punk.
Okay.
So very like Blink-182, maybe a little bit kind of like that post-hardcore scene. We get a little A Day to Remember action. So it's usually where I sit, but I'll play just about anything. When I was in college, so it was 4 of us. Whoever wrote the song played lead guitar, and then we'd switch instruments, and all 4 of us had completely different genres. So like I said, I'm pop punk. One of the dudes was like super hardcore metal.
Okay.
One was very bluesy, and one was like a kind of like a British pop kind of thing. But
Yeah.
it was so much fun just switching instruments, playing different genres. We had so much fun. Played a couple shows. It was a good time.
Yeah, is this some touring or like some?
Not like
shows,
touring,
Okay.
but we just played in Santa Barbara at some house shows.
That's cool.
Yeah. One of my all-time favorite memories in college was actually our first house show. We were on the 6-5 block of Del Playa, Oceanside. Just literally the most beautiful day ever, and
You guys play some.
had a ton of people come.
Let's go. First show, beautiful day on the beach.
Yeah, I
We're
think
kinda
there
by
was
the
like
beach.
300 people in this backyard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Well, kind of wrapping things up. Again, it was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. It was great learning about you. Hawaiian T-shirts, Santa Barbara, so much good stuff.
Yeah, man.
This has been Ben and Kyle signing off.
Be good, do good, and have a great week, friends.